Yo, hello and welcome guys. Let's take a look at Bitcoin today. So, if you watched yesterday's video, you know we were talking about this golden pocket right here, the 618 to 65 pip zone as the level where I expected the high probability bounce to happen. And what you're going to see, Bitcoin came down and we are actually getting a reaction right at this specific area. So far, this is holding. But even though we are getting a bounce here, I'm not really looking to long this. And the reason for that is the bearish structure that we are seeing being formed in this range. If you watched yesterday's video, you know that I was comparing this range to the one we had back in January. The same sweep above the range high, the same fake out and a close back inside on the daily, only higher highs with no sweep of the low. And on top of that, the same bearish divergence on the MACD. Higher high on price, lower high on MACD in both ranges. The structure is nearly identical, and that range broke to the downside. And on top of that, we had a FOMC yesterday. And as I mentioned in the last video, Bitcoin dumped after all 6 of the recent FOMC meetings. Every single time it was some kind of a bearish trigger for the start of a bearish move. And looking at what happened yesterday, it really does look like we might be seeing the same thing again. Now let me show you what I'm actually looking to do right here. I'm looking to potentially fire a short position. And the level I have my eyes on is this area right here on the 1 hour time frame. So we do have the value area high coming in at approximately 71.2 thousand US dollars, but above that are two liquidity levels. The first one at around 71.6 and the second one at approximately 72,000 US dollars. In my opinion, both of these are highly likely to get swept. So I would be looking for a potential short above this area. Now, the key thing to watch right here is volume. If the volume on the way up stays relatively low, that tells me it's just a liquidity grab and not really buying pressure. But of course, if the volume on a potential reversal to the upside is high, we might be looking at higher targets. So definitely pay attention to that. Now, let me also pull up the liquidation heat map, because I think this is worth looking at. So if we go to the 1 week chart right here, what you're going to see is that there's not much new liquidation liquidity above the recent high. And what that tells us is that not many traders actually managed to enter new short positions up there. So there's not a lot of new liquidity sitting above us to attract price to the upside. If there were a lot of fresh shorts up there, you would expect price to want to grab that liquidity, but right now that's just not the case. And if we zoom out to the 2 week chart right here, it's the same picture. Not much new liquidity above the recent high, and this lines up with everything else we've been talking about. Now, if Bitcoin does break below the golden pocket, the question is, where are we going? And if you look at the chart right here, the first downside target I'm looking at is this liquidity level approximately at 65.5 thousand US dollars. And what you're going to see is that it lines up perfectly with the value area low. So we've got liquidity sitting right there and also a key level from the volume profile at the same spot. And as we talked about before, when you see that kind of confluence, you want to pay attention. So if we lose this current support, this is where I would expect price to head next. But overall, I think Bitcoin is due to take the very low of this range, which is sitting right below 60,000. And the reason I think that is everything we've been talking about. The range structure is almost identical to January, no sweep of the low, only higher highs, fake out above the range, close back inside. On top of that, there is no real V-shaped recovery. We have been mostly slowly grinding up, likely just to build liquidity. And that January range eventually broke to the downside and took the liquidity below. So in my opinion, we are looking at a similar scenario here. So that's my outlook on Bitcoin right now. I'm leaning bearish, looking for a potential short around the liquidity levels above. And if we lose the golden pocket, I'm targeting the 65.5 thousand area first and eventually the range low below 60,000 US dollars. Of course, nothing is guaranteed. The market can always do the opposite, but right now, this is what the chart is showing me. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe. I'm posting this daily. Let me know in the comments what you guys think, and I'll see you in the next one.